my history lesson, there was this guy called Owen. One day, after lunch, he was late, and our teacher said, when he arrives, give him the silent treatment. 5 minutes go past, and he walks in holding a cheese sandwich. He just says, oh, hi, sir, and goes to sit down. The teacher stops him and says, what do you say? Expecting him to apologise for being late, but in reply, he just holds his cheese sandwich high in the air and says, cheese! Since then, he has only gone by the name of Cheese. Funny how nicknames start, isn't it? I've been calling one of my closest friends Squid Mug for years now after I walked over to his desk at work and in his empty coffee cup was, I'm still not sure what they were, but what looked like rings of squid. Some nicknames are name-based. My friend's named William Finch, so we call him Wi-Fi. Some are appearance-based. One of my classmates from high school had the nickname Disco Titty because he had massive pecs and they'd bounce up and down in a rhythm when he was going up or down the stairs. Others are incident-based. Good mate of mine's been renamed as Chicken Foot Frank after ordering half a kilo of raw chicken feet on accident when we were in Sydney, skull emoji. Some are to make things simpler. In grade 10, we had 2 boys named Sean in our class with the same last initial, so we referred to them as Sean 1 and Sean 2. Sean 2 transferred schools the next year, but we always referred to the first Sean as number 1, even when he was the only Sean left. Imagine Sean 1 transferred and you were left with Sean 2, and everyone wonders what the fuck you did to Sean 1. And others, such as Tiny Heiny, are beyond convoluted. Benjamins, Benjamins, Jamaican, Jamaican bacon, bacon, beer can, Heineken, Heiny, Tiny Heiny. We called someone Goliath because he was always bickering with a kid named David. Goat because I fainted one time after being startled. Skull emoji. In middle school German class exercise, we chose our German name and came up with an adjective starting with the same letter. Everyone else chose something like awesome Axel or handsome Hans. When it was his turn, he sheepishly said, I'm Juicy Jürgen, and he was juicy forevermore. One of my friends was given the nickname Spoonie. Reason is, they said they had a crush on Spooky Spoon from Numberjacks. Face holding back tears emoji. When I was little, the song Watch Me Whip, Nay Nay was popular. My friend was singing it and accidentally said, Watch me whip, whip, call me Nay Nay. He's Nay Nay to this day. To this day. I once said, you're wonderful, and my confused ex-husband replied, I'm a Nerf ball. So then he was Nerf ball in my phone contacts. I've called my partner Box for years because I once made him a Morse code bracelet, the beads spelling it out, that was meant to say dot dot slash dot dash dot dot dash 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 dot 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 dash dot slash dash dot dash 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 dot dot dash slash dot dash dash dot dot dash dot dot dash 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 dot dash dash slash dash dot 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 dash 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 dot dash dash, meaning I love you pretty boy, but instead said dot dot slash dot dash dot dot dash 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 dot 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 dash dot slash dash dot dash 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 dot dot dash slash dot dash dash dot dot dash dot dot dash 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 fuck off. The exact same but with a dot dash rather than a dash dash at the end, meaning I love you pretty box. My friend is nicknamed Left-Handed Triangle Man by our friend group. He's always sucked at maths but will never admit it. One day, for the millionth time, he tried to prove again that he was in fact good at maths. We ask him to name triangles and he proudly goes, right angle triangle, icosols, left-handed triangle. When I was in high school, me and my friend Henry were part of a theatre production. One time the adults were cataloguing the outfits and their colours, and one woman picked up some cream-coloured leggings and said, Henry, cream. For some reason, that stuck, and Henry Cream is still running. I was going to Henry Cream's house, etc. I am going to Henry Cream. One of my friends got nicknamed Matchstick because on our first hangout he had his hair dyed red and wore beige shirt and pants. Oh, everyone, alright? How are you doing? What are you? Oh my god. I once heard about a person at work who was nicknamed Foreskin because, according to their boss, when things get hard, you disappear. I just confused foreskin and scrotum and had horrid images in my mind of someone's scrotum just disappearing like everyone in Infinity War. My dad's friend Kombucha Michael brought kombucha to a party once. I have a hefty classmate whose last name is Gershon. Everyone calls him the Girth. A classmate with a surprisingly spherical head is Orb, and one girl insisted that Jingle Bells played in reverse sounded like Boingeshni, so that's her nickname. My little brother's nickname for a while was Whiz. He is a sleepwalker, and one night he mistook our bookshelf for the toilet and pissed on it. Right on the Bibles. Loudly crying face emoji, loudly crying face emoji. My youngest brother had the nickname of Jesus Christ, because whenever he would do stuff that was dangerous, my dad would say, Jesus Christ, don't do that, skull emoji! I remember an employee who became known as the Painter. I okay, that actually sounds like it might be for a nice reason, because he would go into the neighbouring business's bathroom and completely destroy the toilet with feces. I once heard of a senior in my school who got straight up run over by a car. His nickname from then on was Speed Bump. I call one of my friends Van Gogh, but he hates drawing ears and often omits them entirely in his pieces. I had a friend we all called 9/11 because one time she tripped and knocked over 2 children while playing laser tag. Moisty Jarvis, Hairy Meatball, Parking Lot, Mr. A.S., Thin Mints, Natural Gas, 67 Power Stroke, Donkey Kong's lower jaw, Nut. Mr. Lialot, the Hedgehog. Alright, stop, you gotta explain some of these. How'd he get that one? I had a classmate called Leighton who used to lie all the time, so me and my friends called him Mr. Lialot. To add to that, every time he lost a game, he would curl up in a ball, making him Mr. Lialot, the Hedgehog, face with tears of joy emoji. Capri Sun, because one time we were having a party and there was Capri Suns and I had like 20 of them. Yeah, for some reason when I read this the first time around, I just assumed you meant you drank 20 all at the same time and was like, how on earth would you even manage that? I suppose you could open 20, line them up and drop a big weight on them so they will squirt in your mouth. Well, that would work, right? No. My friend has been called Jelly Bean for quite a while because she said she could grow jelly beans in her garden, and when I asked her to show me them, she brought me a handful of acorns. My friend Jay got the nickname in high school because one morning Jay snuck up behind us, inhaled sharply through his nose, and whispered into our ears, "You smell so good. You remind me of the lotion." He is still lotion to this day, and I graduated 16 years ago. One of my friends is called, well, you'll see what she's called in a second, because we were in anatomy class and she had headphones on watching the assignment video where they were explaining tendons and muscles, and apparently she'd never heard the word before, so she said very loudly in a silent classroom, "Ligaments." We refused to let her live it down. I call my sister Dip Dog Corn Shit, because one time she tried to call me a dipshit and a corn dog at the same time and misspoke, calling me Dip Dog. Are we going to use in this hose? Noddle. His nickname is now Noddle. I call my friend Starving Urethra because once she said she was so hungry she poked her urethra with her fork. She meant uvula. Got a friend named Steven, but we call him Steen after our friend Justin accidentally misspelled it. Steen. One of my friends I call Thleem because of how awfully she tried to fill out a code word clue once. Skull emoji. Is she, the real Thleem Shady? I have the Glooker because they apologised for being glooky once. Typo, no clue, a skull emoji. My sister is Little Rotisserie in my phone. She was lying down and I told her she looked a little rosy. Her cheeks were really red. She misheard, looked up at me very confused and offended and said, "I'm a little rotisserie?" Changed it right there and haven't changed it back since. Skull emoji. There was this girl that got called Dead Owl Cuddler, Doc for short, because one time on the way back from a school band trip, she fell asleep with the bus window open, and when she woke up, she found that an owl had got hit by the bus, went through the window, and landed in her lap, where she cuddled with it until she woke up. Oh God! Let's briefly check the other socials that were pitched the same question to see if any of those replies are any nicer. Friend's nickname is Boaty, because when he was a toddler, he got hit by a pedal boat. I called a mate of mine Mr. How Do I Walk due to a game of Mario Party. Just Tits? It sounds shockingly similar to his name. We called him Garbage Disposal at first because he will genuinely eat anything and everything, but over time it shortened to Garbage. Broken heart emoji, so when we're upset we bring out his full God-given name of in the tone of a scolding parent. Garbage Disposal. Knew a kid named Hector PH Pubert Detector because he kept saying that he could detect what someone ate for breakfast and how many broken bones they had. He was just making shit up. His name wasn't even Hector, it was something like John. Friend of a friend didn't know my name, so he's called me Hank. 3 weeks later, I was just Hank. Imagine someone asking you, "What's that guy's name over there?" And rather than saying, "I don't know who that is, sorry," you just confidently state, "His name is Hank." Started calling my friend Twinkle Toes because whenever he threw a basketball, he looked like this. I had a friend in college who was called Spatch because one time someone walked in on her having sex on a kitchen counter and she threw a spatula at them. My mom is saved in my phone as Wawa Patch because one time she belched and I don't understand. What she burped and it sounded like Wawa Patch. I call my friend the Animal Control Lady from Madagascar 3 because one time while we were camping in the total darkness he showed me a picture of the Animal Control Lady from Madagascar 3 on his phone and it was so bright the image got burned into into my retinas. For a solid 5 minutes, every time I blinked, I saw the outline of her figure in my eyes. It was a fucking nightmare. To this day, every time I see a loose dog or something, I turn to him. Oh, this looks like a job for animal control. You're up, buddy. My brother's WhatsApp contact name is IKEA AA Battery Muncher, in remembrance of the time he, well, tried to munch on an IKEA AA battery. Why would anyone do that? What, did they taste nice? These are IKEA batteries, ladder. Not great. My mum's friend's daughter is called Naomi and has mayonnaise with literally everything, so we call her Mayomi. Kilometres. Their name's Miles. The bathroom. My last name's initials are WC. My best friend is occasionally called Jerry because he put a picture of Jerry Adams in a... Hold on. Who's Jerry Adams? The retired Irish Republican politician. In a microwave in public. We didn't turn it on, just left it there. For a while, my sister would call me Toe-Fry Stir-Few because of me butchering Japanese ogre emoji, the pronunciation of tofu stir-fry. My friend's name is Porn with Plot. Humphrey Gulp. Regrettable purchase. Dr. Sausage. Slingshot's Ballsack. Tampax Zhivago. Bromoto Kenuan Coyote Cythesis. Quite literally, the number 7. The Fridge Fucker. Again, kind of morbidly curious about the context of this one. Please elaborate? I will not elaborate. I was called the Skittle Leader because I found a long Skittle in my bag of Skittles. You're not entirely sure what you mean by long Skittle. I found this on r/mildly interesting, if that's the sort of thing you mean. I wonder what that would taste like. Nice. Whoa! How am I going to start a fire? Well, I'll be dressed appropriately.
You just look like you're in a cult. Oh, it smells nice.
It does smell quite nice, doesn't it? Because this has got all meld into one.
I really hope that's not going to catch on fire.
Relax. And really ooze that goop over. Ooze that goop. And when that sets, that'll be a long Skittle. It's actually quite good. Thanks, Twitter. Back to YouTube comments now. I used to work in aquatics, helping teach little kids how to swim. One day, as they were getting in the water, one of them just pointed at me, unprompted, and yelled, "Fishy face of death!" People went on to call me that for the rest of the summer, skull emoji. My sister was Spider Hunter, because when she was a baby, she tried to eat a huge wolf spider. My mum saw its legs dangling from her mouth and thought it was yarn at first. Bean Bench Boy. He ate a jacket potato with beans and spilled exactly one on a bench while we were out. He didn't clean it up, so I never let him forget that, Bean. You know who you are, fucking Bean Boy. Me and my other friends call this one guy Princess Peach because he told his friend in class very loudly that last night he had a dream where he was taking care of Mario's kids and they had a very dramatic divorce. My buddy's contact in my phone is Scary Ghost. How are they floating? He put that as a genuine answer to "What do you see?" /wonder on an art assignment. One of my closest current friends has the nickname Piss Lord because of the amount of soda they drink. Recently they were demoted to Piss Boy for reasons unknown. My friend gets called Poop Drinker because when talking about our history textbook, he said, "Isn't it crazy that it just goes from, like, people drinking poop to now?" In 5th grade, my nickname was Ham, because I had played Hamlet in an extremely abridged version of the play. That is fucking abridged. Ham. I have a friend, Soccer Ball, on Discord, because every time we're in a call, he gets kicked from it. Weeping Angel, because the only time I join my friends' conversations is when they weren't looking. I was, and still am, Femi D. I dressed up as Ruby Gloom for Halloween a few years back, and my friends said I looked like a femboy Ronald McDonald, and came up with that. Junk Man! A friend of mine made a superhero costume that didn't account for his privates, so in all pictures he took, you could see an alarming number of details. My bones and joints make slight clunking noises whenever I move for some reason, so my friend calls me Wind Chime. My friend's name is Bernice, but I call her Bernephew. Jack, by the way, because he said, "Oh, my name's Jack, by the way." My dad has always called me Pumpkin Face. I thought it was just some kind of cute random nickname until I learned it's because I had severe jaundice as a baby. Skull emoji, skull emoji. and skull emoji. I was playing a video game with my friend on call, and in the middle of it, his dad walks in, sounding disgusted, and shouts, "What the hell's with that skid mark?"
Disgusting!
That name has now stuck for a long time, excuse the pun. I have a friend group with 2 Lukes in it, so one of them became Luke. I, Patrick, then became Not Luke. Luke's brother, also Patrick, is now Not Luke. Shuttle Destroyer. It was a guy in my uni who got pissed drunk at a party and forgot to do his homework. He turned up to class and said his cat, deadly allergic to cats by the way, called Shuttle Destroyer, ate his homework. It was a digital assignment. What the fuck? The Black Plorge, because he was always sick, and Hungry Hippo Man, because he the worst food combinations for lunch. I'm talking chocolate on tomatoes and honey on bread. Odd fellas. Hey, why did your font just do that? Once in 5th grade, I helped my social studies teacher play a video. Still proud of that. What's that got to do with anything? When I was young, I went on a Ferris wheel, and then I immediately started crying, so then my mum had to yell really loud. It's just to make them to stop it. What are you all on about? Is there a carbon monoxide leak or something? One of my oldest friends is Smell ID, because back in high school he got high and went on about how tech companies are missing out big time by not developing a phone you can unlock by smelling it. Wait, does the phone smell you or do you smell the phone? His logic was that the user would smell the phone and the phone would recognise them. I'm utterly confounded by the levels of nonsense your friend operates on. Congratulations. I've been smoking weed for 26 years, and I have never been that stoned.
I feel like this is an episode of Taskmaster. Yeah.
That's quite good.
Yeah. Getting out of breath yet? I wasn't filming.
Shut up.